Welcome to Over the Goal Line, a Cornell University women's ice hockey podcast by the players and for the players. This podcast will bring you in-depth game analysis, behind-the-scenes banter, and exclusive team coverage straight from the players themselves. Now here's your host, number 23, Finley Frechette.
Hey, hockey fans! It's your host, Finley Frechette. Welcome to episode 1. The first official, real episode of Over the Goal Line. And Happy New Year. I know I speak for all of my teammates when I say that we can't wait for the puck to drop in the new year. Speaking of which, let's take a look at the next 2 weekends for the Big Red. To start off the year and the decade, we have Mercyhurst coming to town for some rare Saturday-Sunday tilts. The games will be at Lina Saturday at 3 and Sunday at 1. And then the following weekend, we'll be hitting the road and traveling to Schenectady and Troy, New York for a game versus Union on Friday at 6 p.m. and a game against RPI on Saturday at 3. In this episode of Over the Goal Line, I got the chance to talk to my own sister, number 11 Gillis Frechette, while we were at home for Christmas break. As you all can imagine, we really do talk all of the time. But this conversation was really fun for us to reminisce on our past hockey memories, as well as our current Cornell memories. And of course, I tried to include some humor into some of my questions. Take a listen. Hey everyone, so I'm happy to introduce our first ever Over the Goal Line guest, who is none other than my sister, number 11, Gillis Frechette. And I don't know if she knows this, but I like to joke around and say that everything she does on the ice that's good, which is a lot of things, I taught her. And the things that she doesn't do well, sorry Gillis, but she learned that on her own. It wasn't me. Anyways, Gillis, welcome to Over the Goal Line.
Thank you for having me.
So I just want to paint the picture for our listeners. I'm recording this right now over Christmas break, and a lot of people have been requesting since we were home to have our dogs on the podcast, and unfortunately that can't happen because they're too loud, but we told them that maybe it could happen another time. So for now, Gillis, let's start this off and just tell me what your favorite moment of the season so far has been for you.
It's kind of tough. My mind comes back to many different memories. I think one that stands out would be before the season had really started. Officially, we were working out and skating under the requirement hours, whatever it was. We had a really tough lift. I think it was at 8 or 9 in the morning, and we did a lot of conditioning or something, and it was a sunny day outside, still when Ithaca was warm, one of the few moments, and the sprinklers on the field hockey field were going off, and they were really powerful sprinklers, but we had just gotten done with our lift, and something in us came over. We did our cheer, we broke it down, and then we all sprinted to the field hockey field, and we're running around in the sprinklers, just soaking wet, and it was just so fun and, rewarding after a really hard lift, so.
I actually remember that too, and I think a lot of my favorite Cornell hockey memories are when things come up that are unplanned and they sort of just happen and everyone is having so much fun. And I don't know if you agree or not, but I think that's what's something pretty special about our team is that we have a lot of those moments that we sort of make things that shouldn't necessarily be fun, finishing the conditioning after a slope or whatever it was that happened before that sprinkler incident, but sort of making it into something really fun and memorable that we talk about in the future. All right, so the next question I have for you is shifting gears, but I know we have a lot of team meals, pregame meals. What is your favorite team meal and why?
Favorite team meal, I would say, we always get meals catered by Lina for pre-games when we're at home. And I would say the menu I always look forward to seeing when Louise sends it out would be the Dijon maple chicken, so good, with the sweet potatoes and kale. And I like when they have the garlic bread too. That's really good.
I personally really like the acai bowls and when we have brunch, because you have some scrambled eggs, some bacon, some acai bowl, but then you also have the chicken and the sweet potatoes, maybe some broccoli, and you're able to have a little bit of both. You can start off your meal with breakfast and then finish it off with lunch. Yeah. All right, next question. Who on the team is most likely to wear their skate guards on the ice for pregame warm-ups?
Not a question in my mind, Bella King.
Number 13, Bella King. Bella King. I mean, I would have some other people up there on my list, but I think I would ultimately come down to the same conclusion. Who on the team, in your opinion, is the most gullible?
Probably Grace Graham.
Grace Graham. I would have to say number 29, Lindsey Browning.
One of the two. Yep, I didn't think about her. One of the two.
I mean, Lindsey's just so nice.
I would say the new addition to that family is Paige Kenyon, freshman.
Wow.
Yeah.
She is gullible. Yeah. She is. So we've got Grace Graham, Lindsey Browning, Paige Kenyon. Yes. I guess we'll have to stick around for future guests on Over the Goal Line to see what they think. All right. Next question. If you have a pregame playlist, what does it look like? And even if you don't, what song gets you the most pumped up before a game?
I don't have a pregame playlist. Well, I did, but I sort of now just go with whatever music's playing in the locker room. Amy Curlew's usually on aux, and she usually does a pretty good job. But I would say something with a good beat drop or something by the Dropkick Murphys.
Dropkick Murphys. That gets you going, gets the blood boiling, gets you ready to go on the ice. What is your favorite building on campus?
Probably Lina rink.
A classic answer from a hockey player. If you were to choose Lina rink, what building would it be?
I think it'd be the clock tower. I haven't been up recently, but one of the things that actually sold me to Cornell when I was looking here and looking at a bunch of different schools was me and Finley actually on our visit when I was a freshman went up with our hosts, and it was the middle of winter. It was snowing sideways, and we went up all the way to the top of the clock tower, and it was such a pretty view. It was the coldest I've ever been probably, but it was such a pretty view, and it was just so cool to see the school and all it has to offer from a different point of view. And the beauty, and that was just something that really stuck out to me and something that I love about this school.
I agree. I remember that too. And a little fun fact is we went up there with our hosts, 2 girls on the hockey team at the time, and we all signed our name where everyone signs it on the walls walking up. So when we do get the chance to go back up there, our names are on there from before we even decided to commit to Cornell. All right, next question. What is your favorite rink to play in besides Lina?
Well, that's a tough one. I think Slew's rink is really cool because it's sort of similar to Lina in that it's not a big, fancy, brand new arena, but it has a lot of character to it. I like the wood, so I think that's a fun rink to play in.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't get to play in their rink this year because they were doing renovations. So next year we'll see. Going off that question, what is your favorite road trip and why? I think I know the answer to this, but I still really want to ask you to see your opinion.
My favorite road trip is probably, this is going to be no one else's answer, but is Harvard-Dartmouth because we live right near Harvard and we always get a lot of family to come to the game, and it's a fun time to be able to see everyone who can't usually make it to games. And also the hotel we stay at for Harvard-Dartmouth weekend is not even a half a mile away from our house, so it's really easy to come home and spend 30 minutes to an hour whenever we can get away from the hotel at home with our dogs and with the family.
Yep, that's the exact answer that I knew you were going to say, and it's also my answer. All right, another question about our teammates. Who on the team is most likely to get a penalty and then skate into the wrong penalty box?
Again, I would say Bella.
Number 13, Bella King.
Or Elena Zingis.
Yes, I can also see that. Number 19, Elena Zingis. Okay, so overall, you've been playing hockey your whole life. If you can think back to one moment, it can be during Cornell, during your high school career, pre-high school, youth hockey, whatever it is. What's your favorite hockey moment or memory?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I there are some overtime wins and stuff like that I can remember, but I think one of the funniest and a cute one is when me and Finley were really, really young. We were playing on a team, the Falcons was what it was called, but my dad was the coach, and me and Finley were on the same team, but I was so young that I didn't know my lefts from rights. And so every time my dad would go, all right, Gillis, you're on left wing. And I would go, Dad, I don't know what side the left side is. So he'd just go, okay, you play center. So I could never play wing because I didn't know my lefts from my rights. And the only position I could play was center because that's the only place I knew was the center of the ice.
It's ironic now because you only play wing and I'm the one that plays center. Yeah. But another funny Gillis memory is skating growing up, like learning to skate. She only used one leg and sort of propelled herself around with that one leg. So our skating coach would skate behind Gillis with a clipboard and just smack her other leg and say, get going, because she was only using that one leg. All right, last question. What is your favorite thing about Cornell hockey? It can be anything at all, but what's your favorite thing?
I would say the diversity of people we have on the team and the different backgrounds they come from, the different personalities, and how we're so close as a team and so bonded, but we're all so different. And I think that's something that makes Cornell so special, is everyone has their own stories coming from wherever they came from growing up playing with the boys, or having siblings or not, or coming from Boston or coming from Goose Bay. Like, literally the difference is crazy, but it's so cool that all of us get along so well, and I think it makes us better people, a better hockey team, just because we have that diversity on the team. Thanks for having me. I'm Gillis Frechette, number 11. Go Big Red!
Thanks, Cornell hockey fans, for listening to this episode of Over the Goal Line, by the players and for the players. Remember, we play this weekend at Lina vs. Mercyhurst on Saturday at 3 and Sunday at 1. We hope to see you there. Let's go, Red!
Tune in next time to Over the Goal Line, a Cornell University women's ice hockey podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, WVBR.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more about the team, you can follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Cornell W Hockey. Game schedule and tickets can be found at CornellBigRed.com. Until next time, go Big Red!